had several people ask me how I make my popcorn garland, and it's really not that difficult. And I'm sure that the way I make it is not the way everybody makes it, but it is the way I found is easiest for me. So I thought I'd share that technique with you today, if you'd even want to call it a technique. So what you'll need to do this is you'll need some string or embroidery floss. I find that using 2 strands of a 6-string embroidery floss is small enough to go through the popcorn without breaking it, yet strong enough to be able to hold the popcorn adequately. So it does last longer with the 2 strands. I've had some people say they've used 1 strand, hasn't lasted as long. 3 strands, you could probably use that, but 4 strands you'd be pushing it as far as getting it through the popcorn. You'll also need a needle. Doesn't matter as long as it's not too big around and you don't want it too small to where it won't adequately pull your thread through the popcorn. Now, whenever I personally cut my thread for my popcorn garland, when I sell it, I do it for 6 feet length. But this that I will be doing, that I'm showing you, is for my own tree. So I'm going to use some bits and pieces I had left over from previous orders and such, just to use them up rather than use a whole new skein. So I'll be working with that. So what you want to do is you will want to tie a loop about like that in one end. First you'll string one end through your needle, and then the other end you will tie a loop into. This will serve as both to hang it onto the tree and to stop your popcorn from falling off. So it's best to tie it ahead of time, and then I usually trim a little bit of the excess off with my scissors, just so it won't be sticking out and being unsightly. Okay, so now I air pop my popcorn in the microwave in this Presto popcorn popper. I also use the yellow popcorn in a bag from Walmart. It sells for under $2 to the bag, and you can get so many strands out of it. So what I do is I pop it early in the day, let it set all day until it gets like that that rubbery effect that tastes awful but does work well when you go to string it. It's not as brittle. So all you're going to do is you're going to put your needle through your popcorn, pull it to the end of your string, trying not to knot it up, which I am very bad about doing. It takes me much longer to string popcorn than it should because I'm always picking out knots. Okay, so you've got that on there. Okay, now another tip on stringing this popcorn is do not pull it tight. Do not worry about how tight it is or if there's gaps in it, because if there's gaps, it's not a big problem. But if you pull it too tight, you run the risk of either breaking the popcorn or over stressing the string or just a number of things. So I find that I lay it out, pull it like that, let it spread itself out, and go from there. This is a nice activity to do when you're sitting and watching TV. It's very calming and relaxing. It is in no way, shape, or means a quick activity. It does take some time. It does take some patience, because you will have popcorn that breaks like that one did there. It's inevitable. There's not too much you can do about that. Not all popcorn is stable enough to be used once it's popped. So, and you're going to run into hard spots like that. Sometimes you can push through, which in case I did that one there. Other times when you try and force it, it will break. So just know that not every piece of popcorn will be used. Now, a little tip, when you have it off to the side like this, like you see here, I usually take my popcorn through that area again. It's kind of reinforcing it, keeping it from dangling real strange. Otherwise it might dangle down lower than the rest of it, and then it runs a risk of breaking. It really does. So I find that technique works really well for me, and it does make a difference. So we'll get this string here strung, and I'm going to speed it up from here so it won't take so long for you to watch it, and then when I get it strung, I'll show you where to go from there. Okay guys, I'm back here now. I finished stringing my popcorn, this little strand here. Now, the technique on this is that it looks like you have a lot left over, which you do. Because once you get your popcorn strung, again, you need to check to make sure it is not strung too tight. And believe me, you will know it when you see it because it will look like it is all bunched up. So you're going to need, and it's good to shake your popcorn to get those pieces off that have broken off, that are just too fragile. And it's good to make sure that you have this extra length to shake it out, of course, to check it. And also to have enough room to tie your end loop. Because that's how we're going to finish this strand off. So you're going to tie a loop like you did in the beginning. Trimming off the excess right here. And again, shaking your popcorn out. And there you have your strand of popcorn. Again, you're going to have gaps here and there, but that's really what I like to call relief gaps to keep it from pressure in the popcorn and from buckling and just not looking right. So it is good to have those gaps. They are a good thing, not a bad thing, and you haven't messed up if you have them. So with my tree being 6 foot tall, ideally I would want 4 6-foot strings to put onto my tree. So that's what I am going to string. Then when I get them strung, I will come back and show you how they look on the tree. So let me get those strung, get them put on the tree, and then I'll bring you all back. Okay, so the popcorn is strung. It's on the tree. I ended up using 27 feet. I probably could have used a few more feet, but I feel pretty good with this. So I am going to adjust this right here that I see. There we go, up a little bit right there. It's hard to get it the way I want it. I keep overthinking it, I think. That'll have to do. So now I've got my lights on there. I've got my red beads. And I've got my popcorn. So it is ready to do the ornaments. And then it will be ready to enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to do the popcorn strings. They're really simple to do, and they're really nice. Now when it comes to storing it, I would suggest recycling those old cookie tins you get at Christmas. Put them in there and keep them away from pests and moisture, and you should be okay to use them again for many years to come. So as always, from me and the girls here at Hattie's Attic, have a blessed day, a happy life. Bye guys.